All right, am I live here? I think I am. I'm trying a new software tonight, guys, so bear with me for just a second while I make sure that I'm actually live. If you could tell me in the chat if you can hear me okay, if I am live. Like I said, I'm using new software. I ditched the old one. They've been being a little bit crazy with me. So I'm just gonna give a second, let everybody hop in the chat, and yeah, we'll dive right into this thing. Thank you, Mike. What's up, buddy? Thank you so much for joining in. Appreciate you. Just got the kids to bed. The wife is working late tonight. So we're good to go, man. We are good to go. David, how are you, buddy? Appreciate you. All right. And Mike, thanks so much for being a channel member too. You get that little 1 mile, and then next month it'll say 2. And I actually know you might go up to, I'm not going to tell you the distances that I have for the channel members that get that special little emoji, but I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I think you were one of the first ones too. So you'll pretty much always have the biggest icon next to your name. And I think I got it going all the way up to 100 miles. I got to see. It'll be a surprise. Every month you'll get a new surprise. But if you guys are listening here live with me, definitely get inside the chat, leave a bunch of questions. And yeah, I'm going to dive into it here in just a second, just making sure all my new software is good to go. Everything looks like it's awesome. All right. So I first want to start off by saying thank you so much for the feedback. I mean, I've been doing this podcast now since November, early November, and the response that I got after the name change episode and kind of when I went through all the things and reasons why I was changing this to 50K ready, the feedback I got was incredible. So I want to thank you for that. And I think that episode was like one of my most listened to episodes on Spotify. And it reinforces the fact that I made like the right decision in continuing the podcast, number one, and making the name change and, making it more community based. And then it followed it up with an awesome episode with Abby, and the feedback I got from that, just an awesome down to earth person, a great human being. And I mentioned at the end of that podcast when she asked me, who my A guest was, I really just want to say again that the people that are unknown in my life are the best people right now. And those are the people that I want to talk to. And I sat down last night and I had a conversation with Chris Morrison. That episode is going to go out in probably 2 weeks. What I think I'm going to do, I haven't decided exactly, because I really like this single form and I love going live and I love live streaming and having these conversations with you right here in the chat. So I still want to continue to do that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just doing a guest and then a live stream and then a guest and do every other. So this is kind of the day after Abby's episode, which I'm still going to release. I don't know if I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Friday. We're going to figure this out together. I don't know. I'm not a podcaster. I'm here just kicking it. So, but next Monday, I'll probably get back to my regular scheduled programming, especially depending on what the Rangers do, because the Rangers are prime. They are taking up my evenings. They get the first slot right now. But yeah, things are great. The episode with Chris, man, we went deep. We went deep into sobriety and relapse and recovery and how that affects training. It was just an awesome episode. And then I got Chad with 2Ds coming on. I'm really excited for the guests. And I want to say now that I don't know if you're going to know or recognize all of the names of the guests that I'm going to have, but that's a good thing. And I mentioned in Abby's episode, just trust me on this. If they're cool with me, they're going to be cool with you. I think you definitely should give a listen to everybody that I have lined up here and everybody that's going to be on the podcast, because if they're going to be on the podcast, they've touched a special piece of me. And because of that, I think they'll also connect really, really well with you as well. So with that said, let's talk about training. I'm still I think I'm out of the recovering from canyons as far as physically. I the last minute things without being too TMI, I guess you don't have to see it. I lost the toenails that I was supposed to lose this past week. They're gone, which there was no pain there, but still they dangle like a loose tooth sometimes, and they can be slightly annoying in socks, especially when they're a little lifted. But pretty much the long run that I did this past weekend, they all just came free, and that's been the last thing. Poison oak, all of that whole saga is gone. So we just passed 3 weeks post canyons, and I'm really in a position now where I am going to start to build up mileage. And that's kind of like the things that I want to focus on, and also to where I've been mentally. I mentioned in that What I Learned Running 100 Miles episode, like the things that were going on emotionally and mentally. And even since then, I still like, I'm coming out of it. I had a couple friends that raced Cruel Jewelers last weekend. I'm talking to my buddy Keith today, and he's like, man, the brain fog, this is not his first 100 that he did. And he's like, the brain fog is just, it's there. And I'm like, yeah, and he didn't remember it being so hard. I can't say I don't remember it being so hard because it was my first 100, but the brain fog, I don't know if it's the lack of sleep. I don't know if it's the really, really high euphoria and then the adrenaline dump. I don't know what it is, but the brain fog of just like, it was just, I just felt like I was like, I don't know. I can't relate to a hangover. That'd be like too extreme, but just this melancholy, blah. I'm not sleeping right. I'm not too excited, but I'm not sad. It's been very, very hard to explain. And that piece, I think this past week is gone too. Like, I don't want to say it yet, but I think the whole like physical and mental experience of canyons, I think I'm starting to rebuild now. Like I've checked that box and I'm ready to go. So I mentioned last week that I did 32 and that I wanted to jump up again. So the first week, I think I did 20 something. Right after the race, I did 20 something. Then I wanted to go up to low 30s, then high 30s, then mid 40s. That was kind of the track that I wanted to take. And early on, that was before I signed up for the Snow Peak 50. And I talked about that in Abby's episode as well. If you have any questions about the Snow Peak 50, definitely leave them in the chat, and I will definitely talk about that because it's an exciting race. And as we get closer, I will talk about it. But if you have any questions now, definitely let me know. So signing up for Javelina, and I said I'm going to mention it every episode, sub 24. Let's go. I was kind of like relieved a little that I didn't have to worry so much about vert, only because I have to travel to vert. Like, it's not easy out my door. I don't mind training vert. It's more, it adds an hour and a half to my training every single time I have to drive 30, 40 minutes, park, do all that, and then do the training and get home. That's the only reason why I didn't like it. But then I go and sign up for this 50 miler and I'm like, all right, I got to get right back to vert. So last week, it wasn't just let's get into the mid 30s. It was let's get into mid 30s and, also get some vert in. I'm just looking at the chat. David, he ran 3 days since he ran his last marathon and legs feel great. Yeah, dude, if motion's lotion, man, you got to get right back to it. Get out there and run. So with that increase in mileage and increase in vert, I had to drive and I added more time. I think this block going into Javelina, and I am going to use a very, very similar training block as far as time base going into Javelina that I used in canyons. I know that the elevation change is going to be different. So I peaked in like the high 70s, 80s for that race, but the hours was like 14 to 15 hours up in the 10 to 12,000 feet of vert. I don't know if I'll push 12,000 unless it happens by accident. I really, really want to focus on tempo work. So I think with the increase in speed and the less elevation is going to become an increase in mileage, but my time is going to remain the same. I wouldn't say it's far-fetched in this Javelina block that I'm going to see 100-mile weeks just with the speed that I want to. But right now, I'm all focused on that Snow Peak 50. So last week I got 6,000 feet and I jumped up from 5 hours to 7 hours. So I did 5 hours, 32 miles. And then to go only 5 more miles took me 2 more hours. So the pace definitely slowed in getting that 6,000 feet. I did that 2 different ways. The first way I did on the treadmill, I did 2 days of just grinding. So the first one I did on Tuesday, I just got on the treadmill. My treadmill goes up to 12.5%. I put it on 3 miles per hour and I walked for 75 minutes. That's it. And if you are going to be doing a race longer than 50K that has any sort of elevation, you better be training walking. You better be, because I mean, maybe there's elite athletes that listen to this podcast, but if you are going more than 50K and there's elevation, I can almost guarantee you that you are going to walk. And or maybe, are we allowed to say walk? I don't know if we're allowed to say. You are going to power hike. All right. And those muscles are different. I promise you. So please, and the athletes that I'm training that are doing vert, I have 2 athletes doing grindstone. I've already told them, like, I think I tagged them in that workout and was like, look into the future because this is what you have. So 70 minutes, 75 minutes. I think I ended up getting like 4 miles or so. And that was like 21 or 2,200 feet. I did that again on Thursday. So Tuesday, Thursday, vert days. That sounds about right for me. On Thursday, I went for only 60 minutes and I upped the pace. I did it at like 4.2 miles per hour, almost like a shuffled jog and then walk with the heart rate, trying to keep that heart rate still in zone 2. Even at 12%, 4 miles per hour, I can jog at like 137, 138 heart rate with my fitness right now. And that's pretty good. My long run of the week, which has been my longest run since Canyons, I got out and I wanted to do 2 hours. My goals were I wanted 2 hours, at least 10 miles, and at least 2,000 feet of vert, which is going to get me the downhill vert that I don't get on the treadmill. And I definitely felt it in my quads this time. I ended up going for the 2 hours. It ended up getting me about 11 and change, which is a really, really good run. I felt really, really nice. That was the run that I did without my heart rate monitor. And I've been running a lot without my heart rate monitor. And not to say that, like, I don't want to say I like it, so you should like it too. I'm just saying that I like that I'm in a spot now after almost 2 years where I can pinpoint my heart rate by feel, plus or minus 3 beats per minute, probably. So that's just a really, really nice place. But I will tell you this, even though I like running without it, as the seasons change now and it's starting to get warmer and I'm starting to sweat through clothes, I think I ran with the tarp off the other day, actually. I'm going to have my heart rate on just so I can monitor that change in heart rate as the temperature starts to increase and I start to acclimate to the heat. Simple as that. So although I've been liking the no heart rate thing, I'm still a zone 2 fanboy. I'm still going to be going for it, wearing my heart rate for a majority of the time. So those are my 3 key workouts. And a lot of people have commented on my training and have seen kind of that's what I do. And that's not like proprietary to me. Any major amazing book that you're going to read on training, like Uphill Athlete or Relentless Forward Progress or Jack Daniels, even Jack Daniels' marathon book or Coop's book, Essentials to Ultra Marathon Training, it's all focused around these 2 to 3 key days, key workouts. And then the rest of the week is just maintenance zone 2 miles to build volume. That's really all it is. So my key days are Tuesday, Thursday, and long run, or Tuesday, long run, back-to-back run. So you'll see that continue on. Right now, as I'm building speed and I want to get into this 50 miler and get some real vert, I'm making sure that I'm getting at least 2 treadmill days in and then an outdoor vert day. So that's what that weekend looked like. And super happy with the week. I had one weird day where I didn't feel that well, but training has just been, I'm very, very happy with the growth and the progression, which leads me into this week. It's Tuesday already. I took my normal rest day yesterday. Today, things haven't worked out the way I want them to yet. And I say yet because it's 7:45. I'll probably record here for a little bit longer. And then I'll probably have some time where I'm going to break a sweat today. My wife is working late. She's in like this master's teachers program where she works with other teachers. So she's out tonight. So I had the kids. My daughter had an art show. It is beautiful. It's beautiful out. So I can't say no to my kids for a bike ride, which has been really, really nice post-training. It's been very, but I gotta be honest. I'm stuck in this place where, and I was talking with Jacob Mooney about this the other day. I don't know if I'm being lazy and liking the time off, or if I'm just really listening to my body and just embracing this off time. And he hit me right back with, yeah, man, I've noticed that your activity level's a little low. And I'm like, dude, you only know me full send. He's really only known me when I'm going for it. But I I definitely have been taking 2 rest days a week now, and that's been kind of working out. I still got my mileage in, I still did everything, and there's a good chance that tonight I might just kick it again and take my 2 nights back to back, and that's kind of the beauty of being in this transition. But for me, 2 days is the most. Like, if I do more than 2 days, that's when I start to get down a rabbit hole and things are not good. But I think I'm gonna break a sweat tonight. I'll probably get, like, 2, maybe 3 miles on the treadmill, just get a couple feet, maybe like 400 feet of vert tonight before my wife gets home, and I'll get to bed. Tomorrow, I am going out for 7 miles, and I'm going to get a little bit of hilly, rolly terrain. The normal lunch route, if you follow me on Strava, you know my lunch route now. It's pretty much a little over 10 Ks. It gets me about 500 feet, and it's supposed to be beautiful. And I'm going to get that in tomorrow at lunch, which will be Wednesday. Thursday is going to be the big one, and I'll tell you guys now. Because I don't really talk about it too much as far as like the time specific date. Thursday, I've been sober for 18 months, a year and a half. And I really stopped counting and thinking about how long I'd been sober pretty much after a year. And I know people that count the days still, and that's fine. But for me, I read something where it was like, when you continually look at the clock of how long you've been sober, it's almost just like you're doing a countdown to when you relapse or drink again or whatever. So I also, although I still identify as an alcoholic, I was like, it doesn't define me anymore. So at a year, I really stopped thinking about it. And it wasn't until me, I think it might have been my brother the other night that was like, it's June. You're coming into June here. That's what? That's a year and a half sober. And I'm like, sure is. It's a year and a half sober. And I also know because I've run 14 miles at 14 months, 15 miles at 15 months, 16 miles. I haven't really said anything. So I've done 14, 15, 16, 17. And yeah, so I gotta get out for 18 on Thursday. Oh, David, 7 years, man. I can't even at 7 years, do you still are you still continuing to see positive ripple effects? Because I still do at 18 months. Like, I'm still seeing the benefits of sobriety. And I don't know when will the time come where I don't necessarily see the benefits of sobriety, but I know that I don't want to digress, if that makes sense. Like, when does like the greatness of sobriety, like, does it plateau? Because I'm sure there's still daily struggles. I talked to Taylor Spike, and he's like, I'm like, what do you do like those times when you want to drink? He's like, dude, I want to drink every day. I'm like, really? So I guess there's those small wins, but congratulations, man. 7 years. So I'm going to do 18 miles, and it's going to get weird at 3 years. I think when I have to start doing 37, 38, 39, we got a long way to go, man. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, absolutely. I still have bad days, but I handle it differently. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable enough to share that sobriety with us too. Thank you. It makes it easier for me. It really does. And so that's going to be a big one for me Thursday. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm in the rare circumstance on Thursday where my wife has to work. Her school's open, mine's closed, and my kids, they have school as well. So I'm solo. It happens maybe like once or twice a year where the school schedules just shift or they just don't line up. So I might travel and get off the island and go do like an 18-mile adventure somewhere else. I don't know, but that's going to be Thursday. I'm going to get 18 miles in and maybe just a bunch of feet, tons of feet. And then Thursday night, I'm recording with Chad with 2Ds, which I'm so pumped. We're going to talk his most recent Cocodona finish. I'm looking so forward to that. And then Friday, I'm going to just take it easy. I'm going to probably go out for 6 miles. Saturday, I am not going to run, maybe 3. I don't know. I tell you all that to tell you this. Last year, my wife and my brother and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law and a bunch of them, they ran a local 5K to my mother-in-law through the vineyards, like one of the local vineyards here. And it was a 5K. And I really wanted to do it, but it didn't fit into the training schedule. Like a full send 5K, it didn't fit for, I was training for Grindstone at the time. This year, I'm going full send. And I've never said this in a running race. I kind of want to win. I looked at my age group, and a lot of the races I do, I definitely want to do well in my age group. And I think once, I don't know if like age groups matter under 40. Like, I don't know. If you're under 40, maybe they do. But I feel like there's a defining line at 40. And that's, if you look up what the Masters division is, it's 40. Like once you're in 40, you're really not expected to be crushing 18 to 22-year-olds in races, especially short distance. I'm pretty confident I can take down my age group on Sunday, but I'm not going to lie. The winning time last year was like 20 minutes and 15 seconds, which is close to an old PR that I have. I think my PR is maybe right at 20 minutes. It's not on the road. It is through the vineyards, tall grass, things like that, which is going to slow me down a little bit. So I don't know if first overall, first in my age group, I'm going for it. Full send. Like break my ankles full send on a local 5K. Throw up speed. That's what I want. But I kind of really want to go for it. So I'm saying it now. On Tuesday, the next Monday when we record, I hope the title of next Monday's live stream or podcast is like taking down a local 5K. If it's taking down a local 5K, you knew at least I podiumed, or got first place in my age group. But I'm gonna take it easy after the 18-mile run, because I also want to ship it and see what I can do for a 5K. You guys know that I PR'd my mile a week back. So I kind of want to see what I can do in this shorter distance. So that's going to go for it. My total mileage for the week, I want to be low 40s. I'd like to get into the 42s to 45 range. Then next week, I'm probably going to try with vert this week too. I'm going to try and go for 5,000 more feet. Then next week, which will be 1 week before the 50 miler, I'm probably just going to stay there and try and hold, like probably duplicate this week without the 5K send. Maybe do like a long back-to-back weekend, like maybe do like an 18 and a 10 and try and get up into the 45. If I get 42, I'll probably shoot for 45 the following week, which will get me into like June 1st. And then we'll just do a couple day taper and then absolutely blow up full send, like let's see Jesus kind of pace at the 50 miler. As Abby said, you heard me say that like she's going to try and come out and pace me. And I'm like, Abby, by the time I get to you, I'm going to be running or I'm going to be walking really slow. But I'm also having fun with that mentality too. I was so, and if you've run a long race, maybe you feel this way too. I was so caught up in like canyons, slow, conservative, survive mode. Like I tried to finish as fast as I could, but there was a lot of just surviving. And the Grand Canyon, a lot of just surviving. The last time I really sent it, and I have a long form video on YouTube about it, was the Squatch Apple 20 miler. And I got 5th overall, I think, in that race. That was the 20-mile race. That was the last time I just broke 3 hours. That was the last time I felt like alive sending it. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that feeling again. And knowing that I can blow up if I need to. And I don't say blow up like I'm not going to finish the race, but like I really want to get under 12 hours. And I know Taylor's going to be gone. He's going to be so gone. But Adam, the other guy that I'm racing with, super fit. He should beat me into the ground. I'm going to hold on to him for as long as I can. He's going out as my pacer. And Jacob's going to be like, Brad, I'm not going out that hard. He's got Bigfoot 200 coming up. He's got Moab. So he'll probably take it easy. But then again, he tells me he's going to take it easy. And then he sends it with me too. So we'll see. But it's nice over the next couple of weeks where I can focus on just going for it and using my fitness. As I mentioned in previous episodes, it's not that I'm competitive and I like want to beat people into the ground. I am just so excited to use this fitness that I had. Like I'm surprising myself at 42 years old. And that's the hopes and the dreams that I have for you. Like I want you to get old and gray. If you're getting gray already, like look at this guy. My students let me know, and just feel fitter than ever. Like I'm not saying that I PR'd my mile and got 5:58 and like it's been years or decades since I did that. I've literally never broken 6 miles in my life, 6 minutes in my life, ever. And I played pretty competitive lacrosse and I played soccer my whole life. We had to do 2 a day. Like I've been an athlete all through high school. Never ever could suffer for a mile. I was always like good for like 6:10, 6:15. Never broke it. And here I am at 42. And I want 5:45. You bet your ass. Maybe not in the summer, maybe in the fall, but I want 5:45. I used to think things like qualifying for Boston were unheard of for me. I'm just excited to use fitness. I'm just really, really excited to use my fitness. And I hope that as you are continuing down this journey, I hope you are excited to use your fitness. And I hope you show up to a local 5K and just send it. And if you've been doing this for a long time, I hope you're not getting in that place where you're like, I do these races, blah, blah. Like, I want you to feel alive and go for it. Have that competitiveness even just with yourself. I think if you get there, that's a pretty good place to be in. My vibes are just so high, guys. So high. I didn't think that like this one race could just alter the course of everything. I feel so good. I'm so proud of like signing that contract with myself and coming through. I followed through, man. And now all I want to do is do that for other people. I want to aid and assist you in signing those contracts with yourself. I've been coaching a bunch of athletes. I think I have like 12 now, and I sent them a waiver to fill out, a liability waiver. And there's a part of me that like wants to send them a PDF. Like I want them to like tell me what their goals are and things like this, and like give me their like reach goals and things like that. And then I want to type it up in a PDF as like a contract with themselves and have them sign it. Because I didn't physically like make a sheet of paper and sign a contract with myself, but I knew it was there. Like I knew it was on the ceiling, or on the mirror, if you will. It feels really good, guys. It really does. And my school year is about to be over. I had one of my best school years at work, and I don't know if it's because we're past like the years of COVID, which beat a lot of teachers up, myself included. It beat a lot of teachers up. So I don't know if it's that. I got my schedule for next year, and as a high school teacher, there's not too many things you can get excited about as far as like day-to-day operation. But at the end of the year, when you get your schedule for next year, it goes one of two ways. Either you're like, oh, my wife's home. Sorry about my dog barking. That's my puppy. Either you're like, or you're like, yeah. Very rarely are you like, oh my God. That's what just happened. I just got a schedule that made me go, oh my God. I have first, second, and third period off. And I like slow mornings. Now I still have to be at work. My contract, I still need to be there at 7:30 in the morning. I'm off first period right now. Last year was a yeah. So I first period off now. So I just get to I get to take it easy. I don't have to worry like that every once in a while when there's an accident and there's traffic. I don't have to worry about like I'm late. I just call my boss, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. No problem. I don't teach first. But first, second, and third, I just get to vibes next year. I get to do breakfast runs instead of lunch runs. Oh, I can't wait. So just everything's just going well, guys. And I hope that the ripple effect of my vibes are bleeding onto you and they're making you feel good too, or at least making you know that if you're consistent with yourself and you continue to like kick ass and take names, things are going to be good for you. That's really all I have right now. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments. I will get them answered right now. And if not, I will catch you on the flip side. All right, guys. No questions. I appreciate you. I'm gonna head up. My wife just got home. I haven't seen her all day. Gonna go see her, and then I'm gonna go break a sweat. So if you haven't broke a sweat yet today, it's 8 o'clock at night for me. Let's go break a sweat together. Go get 30 minutes in, and I'll talk to you next time, guys. All right, take it easy.